One game to rule them all. One game that is the perfect LEGO experience. This is the one and only LEGO Lord of the Rings. So, what makes this game so great? Why is it a perfect LEGO game and what makes it so good? So with that, let's find out as we hop into the world of Middle-earth. By far, the most important aspect out of any LEGO game is the levels themselves, as at its core, LEGO games are platformers. So where does Lord of the Rings scale in the level aspect? Well, LEGO LOTR has some of the best levels out of any LEGO game. Everything from the grand battles to the simple but uniqueness of the levels themselves make them so memorable. Most levels in LEGO LOTR are mixed with many puzzles and secrets to keep the player always on the lookout for mithril items. Whether you are fighting orcs in a heated battle or stealthily passing the Nazgul, you always feel immersed in what the game offers in terms of unique level design to its distinctive new approach on the open world genre. The prologue is an example of a perfectly executed LEGO level. In this one level, you are introduced to the new sword fighting gameplay, the new abilities each character have, and the grand bosses this game has to offer. This consistency lasts throughout the whole game, with all levels not only elevating the story being told, but adding new and unique gameplay opportunities. Throughout levels, you get to experience iconic locations in Middle-earth, and even iconic moments throughout the Lord of the Rings movies. The cherry on top is the voice acting and the way it perfectly sinks into this game. Now for the second game to have voice dialogue, it actually is really impressive how seamlessly the voice acting fits with the cutscenes. You even have chase sequences which are just perfect for this game, especially that last escape from Mordor is LEGO at its best. Gameplay is a core element for all LEGO games, and this one might be the best example of how to do it. LEGO LOTR takes all the things that made games like The Complete Saga, LEGO Batman, and LEGO Indiana Jones so much fun, and it ramps it up to a 10, with new implementations like the inventory system and a brand new combat system, which is a step up from LEGO Star Wars The Clone Wars. As you progress through the game, you naturally are introduced to more orcs, which are the main enemy this game has. Whether you are jumping on trolls in the Great Mines of Moria or taking on the Nazgul on Weathertop, there is always a sense of danger with the game not being overly easy like the Skywalker Saga is, but not being too difficult. It strikes a perfect balance of difficulty, which is one of this game's strongest attributes. This game also has mithril items, which are essentially in-game items that are enhanced items which can allow you to access more areas throughout the levels and are essential for 100%ing the game. Another great touch is the ring, which isn't always accessible to the player. However, when used, it can make for awesome moments like in Weathertop, where you have to hide from the Nazgul, creating a really intense moment. Also, with different characters, you have different abilities. For example, dwarves like Gimli possess an axe which can allow them to break certain objects. The elves have enhanced jumping and bows which can help them climb up certain areas, and characters like Aragorn have swords that can destroy certain types of rocks. LEGO LOTR is a masterclass when it comes to core gameplay and variety, as shown with the diverse character selection and the addictive gameplay this game has to offer. Bosses also play a pivotal role to this game's success, and this may be one of the best LEGO games for it. Sauron is an example of this. You have a menacing boss with devastating attacks. This boss actually poses a tough challenge, although once you find the attack patterns, it becomes slightly easier. The thing is, you need to experiment with the boss fight, which makes it all the more better. Now, the Balrog was a boss I was incredibly hyped for when this game released back in 2012. The Gandalf and Balrog confrontation isn't really fully shown in the movie. In the books, however, the fight took days, so the boss fight we got was a little underwhelming, but it still laid the foundation for future bosses in LEGO games. Alright, so this next aspect is quite possibly the reason which makes LEGO LOTR possibly one of the best LEGO games, and this is, as you may have guessed, the open world. For a game made in 2012, this game is really massive in terms of size alone. You have the whole of Middle Earth to explore. Throughout your adventure, you may find bricks and characters which can help you complete the game. The best part of the open world is the progression. After completing each level, you are put straight back into the open world. It's here where you will need to explore the open world in order to progress through the game, and it's really here where LEGO started implementing this mechanic, and if it wasn't for LEGO LOTR, we may not have seen the open world we got with the Skywalker Saga. Certain areas have specific purposes, such as the blacksmith. This is where you can craft the mithril items that you may have collected throughout your playthrough. The amount of secret areas and iconic locations to explore can keep you playing for hours with the amount of content this game has to offer. Although it may not be as fully fleshed out as the Skywalker Saga, it still gives the same sense of adventure, and with the amount of areas to explore, it makes for a really awesome experience. Most side missions in the game either require you to find items or to platform through rough terrain. A little addition that is super nice is the addition of Tom Bombadil, a character that was cut from the original Peter Jackson trilogy. This just shows the amount of passion that went behind this game. And for one of the first LEGO games to have an open world, it really was a gem for its time. The levels themselves, as briefly mentioned before, have secret mini-kits and items to collect. Once in free play, you can truly explore the levels in their entirety, and with the addition of tools and mithril items to collect, it actually adds more reason to replay the levels and not just only to 100% the game. So now let's move into the characters, as this may be the weakest aspect of this otherwise flawless game. LEGO LOTR only has 74 playable characters, which is one of the smallest character rosters in LEGO history. The amount of characters they could have added is mind-blowing, but with the amount that we got, it still makes the game worth playing, as the characters themselves are awesome. Gandalf, Sauron, Saruman, these characters are all done perfectly, and with the addition of the character customizer, it really allows the player to make whatever they want. The character customizer can be located in Bag End. This is just an awesome touch to the game, and the amount of nostalgia and fun I had at the same time when replaying this game was truly incredible. You even have playable tree characters. Yes, you heard me right, you can play as trees. That is just insane. And as said before, the genius about LEGO LOTR is the characters and the abilities they have, with, again, wizards being able to lift stuff. You have elves that can jump over tall objects. There's just so much variety in terms of the characters. Although there aren't that many of them, there's definitely usage for each character throughout your game. And another thing we briefly touched on before is the voice acting. This game was the second game that ever had voice acting, obviously the first being LEGO Batman 2, and this one might just be the best voice acting LEGO game there has been yet. And although it's straight from the movie, the way it seamlessly goes into the characters in the LEGO forms, it's just amazing. And this is definitely one of the LEGO games that did wonders in terms of the imagination, but also in terms of the gameplay and the experience as a whole. And just something that is so great is that once you 100% this game, this means completing every single side quest and everything the game has to offer. You actually get to go toward the Undying Lands, which in the Lord of the Rings lore is the place where Frodo and Bilbo Baggins get to go at the end of the Lord of the Rings, as they have both been ring holders. This touch is just really great, and the best thing, in my opinion, about this game is that this game actually takes itself seriously. Now, LEGO The Skywalker Saga does take itself seriously at times, but I feel like the game has a lot of forced humor. This game has a lot of humor as well. However, there are some moments that really hit deep in this game, and it really does take these serious moments really seriously, and sometimes you get a few laughs here and there, but when this game takes itself seriously, it really hits deep. Like, this game can really have some emotional moments, as the movies do as well. In conclusion, LEGO Lord of the Rings is a great homage to the Lord of the Ring franchise. It truly is one of the most perfect LEGO games that LEGO have created thus far, and hopefully with the future of LEGO games, we can only hope for more gems like LEGO Lord of the Rings. So with that, that's pretty much it for this video. Leave a like if you have enjoyed the video, but till next time, take it easy and goodbye.